Hello. I want to read you a poem, sort of a, sutra poem that I wrote for one of my writings that I think might help introduce the nature of mind. I hope it's something that can bring you along. I'm going to be reading from the monitor, so forget my eye contact. But such is the nature of this operation. It's called Echoes in Space, and it goes like this. Who are you? You are not who you think you are. Anything you can think of, you are not. Anything you can think of is not how things are. It is as it is. You are as you are. You are it. As the Tantras say, things are not as you think, nor are they otherwise. Reality is outside of thought. As you think or not as you think, these are polar opposites. Thought can only think in opposites. Every time thought makes an affirmation, its opposite is born. Affirmation, negation, yes, no, good, bad. What is beyond polarities. It is beyond affirmation and negation. You cannot go beyond thought through thinking. All thought runs in the same circle. Being is beyond thought. Being is not the way you think it is. Being is as it is, and you are that. Anything you think about being is not the way you think. But being is who you are. Being is what you are. You cannot know about being. You can know being by being. You can know yourself through being, not through knowing about yourself as an object. Knowledge about something is thought. Thought is knowledge about something. In knowledge about, there is a knower and there is a known. A thought appears, a second thought looks at the first and knows about it. A third thought looks at both and sees a knower and a known, and so on. Thus the self is born. When you pile thought upon thought, you live in time. When you let the first thought be, you step outside time. Dilgo Kensei said, leave the risings in the risings. The first thought merely is. The second thought is the knowing subject that knows about the first thought about things, but neither thought knows. Hiding behind both is the real knower that knows and is the knowing itself. When you think you are the second thought, this is called identification. Identification is what you think you are. Identification is what you think yourself is. You identify with that you can know about. You can know about sensory experience, you can know about thought, you can know about emotions. You identify with the senses, my body, my gender, my family, my house. But that is the content of your life, not your being. You identify with your thoughts, my nationality, my status, my values, what I believe to be right. But those are just contents of your mind, not who you are. You are not who you think you are. Who are you? What are you? Who is reading these questions? Who is hearing these questions? Pause and ponder. Who is it that sees through your eyes, hears through your ears? When you know about things, there is a chain of thought that knows. Like the light of the distant stars, knowledge about things reaches you after the thing itself is dead. Knowing about is the second, third, fourth thought, never first thought. The only way to know what is first thought. Better yet, contact without thought. In that first thought, there is no subject and there is no object. Here, the mind does not have time or space to report to itself and create an object. In this way, knowing is being. Being first thought. Knowing about it involves memory. It involves time. Time exists in the succession of thoughts. Between the thoughts is a space of no time. timeless, no past, no future, no present. Second thought is the subject looking at another thought, which is the object. To know yourself, you must first become first thought. Better yet, no thought. You know yourself by being yourself. By being. You always are, but you are distracted by the contents of your world. You cannot know about being. That would be second thought. In the same moment that being is, being recognizes itself. You recognize yourself. This occurs outside of time. Outside of time, there is no time for the thought mind to create a chain. It starves itself. Depriving the ego of the chain of thinking is like depriving a flame of oxygen. Your mere presence in the moment is outside of time. Your direct contact with the senses, without the medium of thought, is outside of time. You can know yourself by being yourself. You cannot know about yourself. You can only know about the contents of your world. But before the content is, being is. Therefore, to know being is to know all. Being is what sees through your eyes. It is the silence out of which sounds emerge. It is the space out of which things appear and to which they return. It has no birth, and therefore it has no end. It is the end of death and the end of birth. Birth and death occur in time. Being is outside of time. You are outside of time. But the contents of your life are not outside of time. They are born, decay, and die. When you identify with these contents, you also are born, decay, and die. Being is before the senses are. It is invisible, yet through it all is seen. The closest thing to being in the material world is space. Space is as nothing, yet it allows all things to exist. But being is more than space. It is a living space. It knows. It has the living qualities from which love and wisdom radiate into our world, into this world. It is radiation without a radiator. You are the lens through whom the qualities of being radiate into the world. Being is the pregnant nothing out of which the whole universe is radiate. Nothing is outside it. How could it be otherwise? And you are that. Don't go anywhere. Give up the future and forget the past. Live in the timeless present. Free of striving and ambition. Trust life, rest and be. Remain in silence. Neither this nor that. Be yourself. Who else could you be? That's the poem. Tashidelek.